This is our land, this is our time. No chains can hold a heart so wild. We rise, we fight, we take our stand for Scotland's future hand in hand. No more waiting, no more fear. The truth is loud, the choice is clear. A nation proud, a people free. Scotland's fate is up to we. From the mountains to the shore, we dream of something more. A land of promise, hope and fire. A future that will lift us higher. This is our land, this is our time. No chains can hold a heart so wild. We rise, we fight, we take our stand for Scotland's future hand in hand. For every voice that's yet to speak, for every heart that still feels weak, we march, we sing, we'll break the chain, we'll never bow, we'll rise again. This is our land, this is our time. No chains can hold a heart so wild. We rise, we fight, we take our stand for Scotland's future hand in hand.
Good evening, Scotland. Good evening, social media land. I hope you are well. It is Friday, the 7th of March, 2025. Welcome to Saorsa Live. Tonight we are still streaming across YouTube and TikTok, so please do take the time to like and share across these platforms and say hello in the comments too. If we lose either of them, please go to the other one and join in the conversation there. We're also recording this live and all the comments to ensure the security and integrity of the stream. But before we get started tonight, I would like to play this very important message like I always do every single week. We start our lives with an important reminder that we are fighting one of the world's greatest propaganda machines, the British state and their right-wing oligarch-run media. To combat this, we ask that you always follow, like and share and comment positively across all social media platforms on any of your favourite Scottish independence creators and commentators. By doing this, you help to spread the word of our cause and manipulate social media algorithms to benefit our struggle. So please, for now, like and share this live stream, and if you haven't already, follow this account. Thank you. Okay, listen, first of all, let me apologise about not having any videos on Wednesday and Thursday on YouTube this week, simply because on Wednesday we were having our new internet put in. Yay! Super fast broadband, amazing! At half the price of what I was paying through Virgin, can you believe that? So it is all good, but we had some connectivity problems and I don't like uploading videos through Mr. iPhone because I don't get to do certain tweaky settings as good as I can do on the computer. But we are here now, and apologies given, and what we'll do is we will briefly cover the content of both of those missing videos tonight, which is all about Reform UK, you know. Wow. there has been a bit of a hoo-ha since I put the content together. I believe, what's his name? Is it Rupert Lowe has been chucked out, or at least lost the whip, because he's a bit of a bully. Doesn't surprise me, really. And it's funny how this bit of a bully guy gets sort of like loses the whip, but the other chap, what was his name? Let me just find it. James McMurdoch, the one that assaulted, paid the, did a wee bit of time and paid for his crimes and things, but should he really be a Reform MP as well? That is major discussions that people can have when they're nowhere near this live stream. But let's have a quick look around the TikTok. Where's my TikTok land? There it is. TikTok land and YouTube land. So TikTok land, there we go. We've got Lisa, we have Peace, we have Scottish Steve, and I did see Aaron coming in, and I saw there was the Scottish Witch as well. I saw come in too. So yeah, hi guys, I hope you're all good. And across in YouTube land, we've got Eddie, we've got Wolfpet, we've got Stephen, we've got Zen Bloke, Hammy, John, Age of Aquarius, Robert Scrivenger, all the way watching live from York. Thank you for that. Robert, I got your message. I don't want you going to the Reform UK's gathering in York this weekend. Unless you want to go with a milkshake, then that's perfectly okay. All right, you can go and do that then. All right, so for those that are watching for the first time, I broadcast on both YouTube and TikTok simultaneously, and on that screen over there is where I can monitor the chat for TikTok, and on this screen over here is where I watch the YouTube sort of feed coming in. So listen, if you've got any comments, any questions, anything you want to do during it, if I miss a question, I've got absolutely excellent moderators that would, if I miss a question or if I miss something at all as we go through it all, they'll send me a wee WhatsApp and make sure that I get an opportunity to answer it. It doesn't mean I'm going to answer when I'm going through my presentations and things, but there's a wee part at the end of it all where I can look back and check as well. Okay, so I think we're going to begin. We will go through briefly what the first video was about. Excuse me. I have a bit of a frog in my throat. I only finished work at 10:30 tonight, so I rushed home and came straight into this. Okay, so first of all, just something to ask at the outset here. What do we all think about Reform? What do we feel about Reform? And I wanted to ask this before we begin. I want you to think about that, and as we go through tonight's show, you can answer at any time. Just don't do it off the cuff. Okay, think about an important answer to this, because it is important that we understand the paradigm that we're living in just now is kind of pre-horrible times in 1930s Germany. Okay, and we're going to come on to that. So people are going to tell you that it will never happen here, that Reform UK is just another protest party against the status quo, that they will never gain real power. Now, that might be the case, but we have to take it seriously. Their threats to dismantle Holyrood, erase devolution and place Scotland under full Westminster control, is it just political posturing? Is it a say-so? Is it going to happen if they get into power? Are they, all their extreme policies and ideology, is that just being ignored by people? This is what happened in 1930s Germany. They said that the extremists back then were too radical and too reckless and too unpolished to ever take control. They believed that their country was too modern, too civilised and too democratic to allow it. And then one by one, the safeguards were removed. The voices of opposition were silenced, and those who thought it could never happen were the ones who watched it unfold. Reform UK is not just another party. They are not here to challenge Westminster's corruption. They are here to destroy every form of democratic resistance against them. And one of their most serious targets is Scotland, because Scotland has proven that Westminster is not necessary. Scotland has built a society where free university tuition exists, while students in England still drown in debt. We've abolished prescription charges, while Westminster forces people to pay for essential medicine. And we've protected our NHS as best as possible under devolution from the creeping privatisation that is eating away at England's health system. Scotland has proven time and time again that when it governs itself, it governs better. And that's why reform wants us gone. Richard Tice has openly called devolution a failure. It's not perfect, but do you know something? We have a pro-Scottish party in place, basically putting together pro-Scottish ideals. Love them or hate them, the SNP are still pushing for Scotland, and I'm quite happy with that. You know, Westminster has failed. Where was I? I've lost my notes there. Richard Tice has openly called devolution a failure, not because it has failed the Scottish people, but because it has failed Westminster's ability to control them. It has made it clear that if Reform UK gains influence, Holyrood will be stripped of power, or worse, abolished altogether. They've backtracked a little bit on that, but I still firmly believe that that's their goal. They're not going to come out with it and say it straight away, just like back in 1930s Germany. They do not want to govern Scotland. They want to erase Scotland's ability to govern itself. If that happens, it's not going to come back. If you think that Westminster will ever return the powers of devolution that it takes away, look at Brexit. Just look at Brexit. Scotland voted to stay in the EU. Westminster ignored it. So do you think we'd ever get powers back? No. Not at all. Scotland had EU protections for workers' rights, trade and industry. Westminster stripped them away overnight. Westminster has never wanted Scotland to have power. It only allowed devolution to contain the growing demand for independence. Now Reform UK is their weapon to destroy it completely. And the worst part, Reform UK is winning because people assume someone else will stop them. This is so important. Apathy will allow reform to win. And that's how every authoritarian movement gains power. They rise in times of crisis. They feed off disillusionment, economic struggle and frustration. They tell people that they are the only ones speaking the truth. That they're the only ones that care about the working class. They're the ones that will stand up to the elite while distracting their voters from the fact that they are funded by billionaires, backed by the same forces that destroyed the economy and working hand in hand with the establishment they claim to oppose. That's how the far right wins. Not by majority rule, but by turning people against each other, by convincing them to hate their own institutions, by getting them to surrender their own rights in the name of taking back control. Scotland is standing at the edge of that cliff. It is no longer a question of if reform could gain influence, but when. The only thing stopping them is the people of Scotland themselves, us. Scotland has never been a country that surrenders its future without a fight. We're not England. We do not fall for the same nationalistic rhetoric, the same anti-immigrant scapegoating, the same culture wars that turn ordinary people against their neighbours. The people of Scotland have already rejected Brexit, rejected privatised healthcare, rejected the idea that the rich should get richer while ordinary people suffer. And that's what separates us from Reform UK. That's what makes us dangerous to them, because we have never accepted the idea that Westminster should have the final say in our future. Scotland's strength has never been about one party, one leader or one movement. It's about a people who have fought for generations to protect their rights to govern themselves. Devolution was not a gift. It was won, and it will have to be defended again. This is bigger than independence. This is bigger than party politics. Even those who voted no in 2014, even those who support the union now, must see the reality. Reform UK does not care about Scotland. They do not care about public services, workers' rights, about fairness or democracy. They want to break everything Scotland has built, and they are counting on division and most of all apathy to let them do it. But Scotland is strongest when it stands together. Every Scot, whether pro-independence or pro-union, who believes in protecting Holyrood must recognise this is a fight for the future. Reform UK thrives on disengagement. They benefit from people not turning up to vote. They rely on people assuming someone else will stop them. And that's how democracy dies. And that's how Scotland loses everything it has fought for. But the people of Scotland have stood together before, against Westminster control, injustice, and those who would see us silenced. And we'll do it again. And we will do it again, before our voice is silenced forever. I'm going to play a wee song just now. It's about 2.5-3 minutes long. Okay, this is one of the new ones by Saorsa. So sit back, enjoy, and we'll talk again in a couple of minutes.
You're tearing down the walls we built, brick by brick they fall. Your words become the chains that bind, dividing us all. Can't you see your actions serve the very ones we fight? By fueling fires of discord, you extinguish our light. I refuse to let my children bear a fractured, broken dream, while the British state deceives us, pulling apart our seam. I won't engage in petty spats that mock our quest for right. Our unity's the weapon that will lead us to the fight. Your venom poisons progress, turns our lives into foes. Each insult digs a deeper trench where understanding goes. You're dancing to their melody, a puppet on their strings, while they erode our culture and steal our precious things. I refuse to let my children bear a fractured, broken dream, while the British state deceives us, pulling apart our seam. I won't engage in petty spats that mock our quest for right. Our unity's a weapon that will lead us to the fight. Look beyond your grievances, see the larger scope. Our strength lies in our numbers, in solidarity and hope. Set aside your differences, let go of selfish pride. Together we'll achieve the dream for which our martyrs died. I refuse to let my children bear a fractured, broken dream, while the British state deceives us, pulling apart our seam. I won't engage in petty spats that mock our quest for right. Our unity's the weapon that will lead us to the fight. No more we be pawns in their manipulative game. We'll stand as one, undivided in purpose and in name. The future of our nation rests upon our unified stand. Together we'll reclaim our rights, together we'll demand. I refuse to let my children bear a fractured, broken dream, while the British state deceives us, pulling apart our seam. I won't engage in petty spats that mock our quest for right. Our unity's the weapon that will lead us to the fight.
I like that song. See, when I wrote that one, I was thinking about us activists and how far we've come and the journey that we're taking and how far we still have to go. And do we really want our children to inherit our cause, our fractured, broken dream? You know, this is why we need to band together. This is why we need to transcend the politics of independence and see it as a national cause. We really, really do. We need to see it as a national cause over and above everything else, because that's what it is. It's not for political change, and it's not for whose party's got the best leader, and it's not about you pissed me off and I've pissed you off, so I'm not going to work with you. That's not what it's about. It's about standing shoulder to shoulder with your brothers and sisters in a national cause, whether they fly the flag of the SNP of Alapa, whether they didn't like them both. It doesn't matter. We're all indie folk, we're all Scots, and we want a better world for our kids up here. The world's crap enough as it is. You know, it really, really is. I saw a couple of good comments in here. It was Lisa that basically said that they can't, like we're talking about reform, can't even name the people in their party. Let's have a quick look. It was Richard. Was that what you were talking about, Lisa? Because Richard Tice he's a bit embarrassed after being unable to name the 2 councillors that have defected to his party. So, bullies, wife beaters, and basically people that don't even care about their own defectors. It's like, wow, crazy times, crazy times. Let's have a quick look across here. I saw somebody else. There's Mr. E. How you doing, Mr. E? Nice to see you there, coming in tonight there. And I did see somebody else across here in TikTok land. Where is it? Who was it that was left a comment there? I must have missed it. Yeah, Saorsa, on your own there. Apathy is a real problem. So it's up to us to try and energise with the right things. My feelings are about that. And it's difficult. I was at my SNP branch meeting on Wednesday. It was really nice to see the guys that were there, and I felt a bit disappointed that we seem to be losing members, and that's fair. People are disengaging with politics, you know, I get that, but I also feel that as a party they could be doing more. I feel that Alapa could be doing more. I feel that the Greens could be doing more for that political pillar. And the first thing that they need to do is get over the league table of politics and understand that politics isn't the end all be all for it, you know? Anyway, let's move on with segment 2. Just to let you know, Lisa, we'll be playing your second favourite song, because I believe that was your new favourite one there. We'll be playing your second favourite song after segment 3. Okay, there you go. Let's go. Right, so Scotland is not a failed state. It's not broken, and it's not dependent on Westminster scraps. But that's what they want you to believe. Reform UK wants you to look at Scotland and see weakness, failure, decline. Because if they can convince you that Scotland is failing, they can convince you that Westminster must take control. But the truth is simple. Scotland has already proven that it can govern itself, and it terrifies them. Since devolution, Scotland has built a society that rejects the failures of Westminster. We've talked about students in England being burdened with thousands of pounds of debt, and Scottish students continuing to receive free university tuition. Do you know how important that is? You know, it's not a short or long-term financial thing. If you educate your population, you have a population of thinkers, of people that can go and do stuff. A degree in something is not just the ability to be able to do that specialist subject. It's the ability to train your brain to learn and to be able to apply that to any part of your life. You know, I know people, right, that have got degrees in physics, like really good degrees in physics, that are store managers for Asda because they got their degree and they went into the graduate programme for that, and they've worked their way through that, and they've got their own store, and they're earning really good money. But Asda's not physics, is it? So it's an ability to adapt and learn and apply yourself. So it's good. Okay, anyway, I digress. The NHS in England has been carved up and sold to the highest bidder, and Scotland has fought to keep its health service public. While Westminster's cruel welfare policies drive people deeper into poverty, Scotland has created its own progressive support systems like free childcare and the Scottish Child Payment, protections for workers and families. And when Scotland saw the damage of rail privatisation in England, it took action, bringing ScotRail into public hands to ensure transport served the public and not the private shareholders. It's not perfect yet, but again, it's still better than down south. Reform UK cannot stand any of this, not because these policies have failed, but because they've succeeded. It's the same with Westminster as a whole. Scotland has proven that it doesn't need Westminster to survive. It has proven that given the power to make decisions for itself, it makes better choices. And that's exactly why Reform UK wants to strip that power away. They don't want us to succeed. They don't want us to be an example of an alternative path. They do not want Scotland to show that another way is possible. They would rather drag Scotland backwards than allow them to move forwards. This is not about whether you support independence or remaining in the UK. It's about whether Scotland has the right to shape its own future. Even with the most pro-union Scot, you must see what is happening. Reform UK does not just threaten independent supporters. They threaten every Scot who believes in democracy. They want to dismantle Holyrood, erase Scotland's right to self-governance, and they force every decision back into Westminster's hands. Can you imagine Westminster making decisions about our health service? I can't. That's why stopping them is not just about rejecting their fear and division. It's about choosing hope, choosing ambition, choosing a better Scotland. And that fight does not end up with rejecting Reform UK. It means securing Scotland's future permanently. Because the truth is, Reform UK thrives on that disengagement, that apathy. They want people to stay at home. And sometimes in Scotland, when it comes to elections, we're quite good at staying at home. But their voters, Reform's voters, they're quite motivated because Reform's new and shiny and they want to get out and vote for them. And, you know, our stuffs might be a wee bit slow and sticking in the mud a bit. That's why we need an injection of something different within our political establishments. They want you guys, everybody in Scotland, to believe that their vote doesn't matter. They want us to be too tired, too frustrated, too broken to fight back. Because when good people do nothing, the worst people win. And that's what they're counting on. And that's exactly why they must be stopped. Scotland's electoral system can be used to block out the worst of reform if we use it wisely. Under the additional member system, even small percentages of votes can give party seats. This means that every vote cast strategically against Reform UK increases the chance of keeping them out of power. They're going to get seats in Scotland, there's no doubt about that. Okay, but we can minimise the amount of seats that we allow them to have by voting for a second independence party that is list only. That is so important, so important. This is about ensuring that Scotland's ability to govern itself is never placed in jeopardy again, because Reform UK is just the latest face of a movement that has always existed. The movement that believes Scotland is nothing more than a region. The movement that believes Scotland should be ruled and not represented. The movement that will never stop lying to take power back unless Scotland stops them first. The media's not going to stop them. Nigel Farage is probably the most popular contestant or chatty person on Question Time. He's been on it more than pretty much everybody else. And Westminster's not going to stop them. The Prime Minister crossed the chamber, went up the stairs to kiss his ring, you know? Wow. The only thing that can stop reform in Scotland is the people of Scotland standing up, rejecting their lies and fighting for what we have built. There's no room for neutrality. Any party that refuses to take a stance against reform is complicit in their rise. There is no sitting on the fence. Scotland has fought too hard for its right to govern itself to allow it to be dismantled now. We're not passengers in this flight. We're not spectators. We're the ones who will decide whether Scotland moves forward or is dragged back into Westminster's grip. The warnings are over. We need to take action now. We really do. You need to speak to your families, speak to your friends, and push them into thinking a bit more critically about exactly what's going on for next year. It's so very, very important. Boom shakalaka. Right, so that was a bit of an old soundbite there that I played that was something to be afraid of about Nigel Farage, talking about how his rise, the rise of reform in the UK, is like Trump's victory. Wow. Can you imagine Nigel Farage being in power? Okay, just think about it. We started today, we talked about what do you think of reform, okay? And bear in mind that I'm asking everybody, and that could be people that believe in reform that are sitting in the audience. It could be that just us indie folk, whoever's here, all right? But think about it now and have a wee think about that and put your answer into the chat, please. Okay, what do you think of reform? What do we need to do to push them back? You know, think about it and let's have a wee. It'll take a few minutes for it to seep through, but so I'll have a quick look here. Thank you, Henry, for wanting to get us to share and like this. Make Scotland great again. Make the fascists fear. Yes. I'm going to go back to something that I've seen across a lot in social media for that, and it's when people say, what was it? When people asked the Germans why they allowed, what actions were they doing when they allowed fascism to rise in Germany? Well, that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're just letting it happen. They're so disillusioned with mainstream politics and with the media machine that we have today. They can push out far stronger rhetoric all the time. If you go onto Twitter, X, or whatever the hell it's called these days, right? And if you're a person who is pro-indie, every second or third post is from Labour. Scottish Labour sometimes, most of the time, in fact, mocking the SNP. Okay, now if you're basically a pro-indie person and you're backing that sort of rhetoric, okay, you're not backing independence. And it doesn't matter how you feel about the SNP. They're the biggest party in there just now. Okay, and I still believe that they're for independence. And we can talk about the oath that they take to the king not being appropriate for Scotland. We can talk about all sorts of different things about that. But I don't care. I really don't. What the most important thing for me is just to have a strong political pillar, strong international pillar, and strong grassroots, all pointing in the same direction. Okay, and I still believe that the SNP might be, but like I say, stuck in the mud, but they're still pointing in the right direction. They just need to get out of that mud and move forward. And I don't know how to do it. I really don't know how to do it for it all. But there we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, Lewis, you're right. They have to take the oath by law. That I was doing a bit of research for that, because it's something I want to talk about with next week's videos. It's like, why do people get so upset about the oath that they have to take? There's people that have taken the oath, like who's it? Was it somebody does it Tommy Sheridan took the oath and then basically say, I have to take this oath but I don't believe in it or something, and stuck his fist in the air in Holyrood? It's just words. All it is words. Okay, it's a formality. It's, if anything, it's something to sort of like make you say these words so you're subservient to the Union. But we're going to talk about that next week. I've already researched it, and it's quite an interesting article to write, and all the rest of it. Scottish Steve, all of indie support needs to be united so we can argue about politics later. Absolutely. Okay, this is what I love. This is why I love what I do here, okay, on a Friday night, because people come in and they say very cool things like Scottish Steve did there just now. And I've got the same sort of thing, the same sort of ideology coming across in YouTube as well. And the people that interact with the videos that I put out. I think that the people are beginning to see that it's important that we work together, even if we disagree politically. We're allowed to disagree politically. It's healthy to disagree politically, very much so. All right, that's the first thing. And the second thing is, we'll never succeed for independence unless we're united. In 2014, that buzz, that energy of the Scotland's independence movement coming together and out in the streets, the marches, the rallies, the stalls, the yes t-shirts, the yes flags, the people doing things digitally online and everything. What a buzz. Why did we lose that? Why do people point the finger at politicians and politics saying, you've slowed down the movement to independence? Bollocks. You've slowed down the movement to independence by losing that pizzazz and energy. You might feel deflated, you might feel frustrated, but if you look deep down inside yourself and have a little bit of reflection, then perhaps maybe you'll see that spark that will set that fire burning again. And then you'll just come forward and start talking about it again. Anyway, we're going to move on to the last segment, which is more of a sort of like a kind of what we're just talking about there, about everything. So bear with me. I wrote this as a speech ages ago. I'm knowing that I wanted to speak about this thing to some people. Okay, so here we go. We are one people. We are one land, one nation waiting to be reborn. Scotland is more than a place on a map. It is a people, a spirit, a history of resilience and defiance. It's a land where ordinary folk have stood together against those who would see us broken and silenced. We have fought for our rights before, and we must do so again. Independence is not about party politics. It's not about whether you support SNP, Alapa or the Greens or anybody else. It's about Scotland itself. It's about who we are and who gets to decide our future. For too long we have been told we are too small, too poor, too incapable, but we know the truth. We have already built a better society within the limits of devolution. Free university, free prescriptions, protection for workers and families, public services that work for people, not for profit. Everything we have built, we built despite of Westminster. But now, they want to minimalise that or even take it away. They tell us that devolution is safe. They said the same about EU membership. They said the same about workers' rights. They said the same about the welfare state before they tore it apart with austerity. If Scotland does not take control of its own future, we will have no future worth fighting for. Westminster will continue to strip away our powers, weakening Holyrood, turning it into nothing more than a glorified council office, while all the real decisions are made in London. Our economy will be shaped by governments we did not elect. We will see them sell off Scotland's resources to the highest bidder as they have done so for decades. Our NHS will be chipped away piece by piece until nothing more than a logo on a privatised system where only those who can afford to pay will be treated. Public services will suffer, communities will be left behind, and Scotland will be forced to watch as decisions are made for us and never by us. This is not just speculation, this is already happening. And if we do nothing, it will only get worse. Some will tell you that now is not the time, that we should wait, that things will get better. But let me ask you, when has Westminster ever willingly given Scotland more power? It was not given, it was fought for. Devolution didn't happen because Westminster wanted it. It happened because the people of Scotland demanded it. That same fight is upon us now, but this time it's not just about gaining power, it's about stopping it from being taken away. It's time for those stuck in the old mindset of party politics to wake up. Independence is not about who is in power now, it's about whether Scotland has power at all. Some say they support independence but will not vote for it because they don't like a particular party. That's not a stance. That's an excuse. Because if Scotland does not take this chance, if we allow ourselves to be dragged further under Westminster control, then it will not be a party we dislike that rules us. It will be a government we never even voted for. This is bigger than political preference. It's bigger than party loyalty. It's about whether Scotland stands or whether Scotland falls. History will not ask what party was in charge when independence was won. It will only ask one thing: whether the people of Scotland had the courage to claim their own future. We cannot be passengers in our own history. We cannot sit back and hope for someone else to fight this battle for us, because the people who will shape Scotland's future are the ones who will show up. If you believe Scotland should govern itself, then stand up and fight for it. If you believe Scotland should make its own choices, then be part of the movement that demands it. If you believe Scotland is a nation, then act like it. We've been told our whole lives that we belong to a united kingdom, but a union is built on mutual respect, and Scotland has been denied that respect time and time again. This is not a partnership. This is not a shared vision. This is a government that sees Scotland as a possession, not a partner. A country that must be kept in check. A country that must not be allowed to govern itself. A country that must be told what it can and cannot do. That is not a union. That is a chain, and chains were meant to be broken. Look at yourself, look at your family, look at your community. What kind of Scotland do you want to leave behind? A nation that stood up and took control of its own future, or a nation that surrendered, that gave up, that accepted its fate as nothing more than a region of another country that never really cared about it? The choice is not one we make for ourselves alone. It's a choice that we make for those who come after us. Generations before us fought for the rights that we have today. They have fought for our voices, our democracy, for our rights to make decisions in Scotland, for Scotland. Are we going to be the generation that gave all of that away? Or are we going to be the generation that finished the fight?
They draw the lines, they call the shots. Take what's ours and leave us not. But we see through their tired game. Scotland's rising won't be tamed. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence. No more waiting, no more chains. We'll stand together, break the reins. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. They say we're small, they say we're weak, but listen close. When Scotland speaks, our wealth is strong, our hearts are true. We know exactly why. do. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence. No more waiting, no more chains. We'll stand together, break the race. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. No more lies, no more lies, no more fear, no more fear. Our time is now. Our day is here. The future's ours. Let's take the call. We rise as one. We rise for all. We build the wind. We sail the seas. We feed the world. We plant the trees. Scotland's future, bold and bright. Time to stand and claim our right. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. They say we're small, they say we're weak, but listen close when Scotland speaks. Our wealth is strong, our hearts are true. We know exactly what to do. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence. No more waiting, no more chains. We'll stand together, break the race. Scotland is ready. Scotland is ready for independence, for independence. Independence, for independence.
Well then, there's been a bit of an interesting conversation going on across in YouTube land. Whichever one of my wonderful mods silenced or deleted, or whoever did that, was that? It was Barry. Yeah, thank you, Barry. Just to let you know, anybody that's a mod across in any of the things, if you have like little fascists coming on, any sort of people that are unionists that are being horrible to each other, horrible to people here, by all means silence them. Okay, just get rid of them. They are not my target audience. You guys are, and the undecided voters are. I've always been somebody that said, okay, there's no point, my personal preference, some people disagree with me, but I don't see the point in debating unionists or extreme unionists in any manner or form. The Gammons are not people that we should be engaging with. They are so entrenched in their belief that they, with their red, white and blue flags, they are not going to change. They will not change. And all they do is do a circular argument that wastes your time and energy. Just don't engage. I'm quite happy for them to be blocked on any of my platforms if you've got moderation rights, to chuck them off. If you want to let them speak a little while, so they basically giving them a bit of rope, that's cool. But as soon as they started becoming insulting or being a bit dickish, just get rid of them. Get rid of them, because you guys are more important. Because if, for instance, I inspire one thought in your head that makes you think, oh my God, that could be an incredible idea, and then you go with that idea from what I've said, and you go and convince 10,000 people to vote yes because of what you've thought of. That's my job. My job is to do that. That's why I'm here. It's not to win your hearts and minds. You guys are true believers. You guys are great. You're the ones whose energy I get and throw back twice as much. You're my inspiration more than anything else. Truly. It's just what it is for me. Anyway, look at that. We've finished 9 minutes early. I've got no more content for you, so I'm going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. Anything going on? There we go. The power is in the Scottish people to assert sovereignty. Yes, John, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's something. We know that Grangemouth is going, right? Is that not just one of the biggest talking points to both indie folk and unionists, to the soft no voters, to the people that are undecided? What do you think about Grangemouth? Do you feel it's okay? That's a nice question. We should never be dictating things about our land to our brethren that live here that might not vote in the same way as us, might not believe in the path that we walk. But we can ask them questions, Socratic questions that basically inspire a bit of critical thinking, that make people think outside of their comfort zone a little bit. Like, why do you think Westminster are not helping to maintain Scotland's only refinery? Oh, they can't afford it, it's a private company. Anna Sarwar said so. Well, you know, Thames Water's a private company, but they just put £3 billion into that. What? Really? So why aren't they saving Grangemouth then? That's my question exactly. You know? That's my question exactly. You know, if it's not going to be a refinery for oil and gas, it could be repurposed for hydrogen fuel. It could be repurposed for doing something with carbon storage. I don't know. I'm not a geek scientist or anything like that. I could not tell you. But surely with the kit that they've got there, they can make it do something else. Make it the world's biggest whiskey distillery. Grangemouth's finest. Ew. Don't think that would be good. Not at all. Right. Okay. I'm going to go. Okay, we'll play out with another song, and I'm working at 7 tomorrow morning, so I will be in Discord for about 5 minutes. But before I go, we better put up these things. This is important. So we do have a whole bunch of social media that you can grab us on. The YouTube and TikTok, you're probably on that just now. We are also on Blue Sky, which is far better than Twitter. It really, really is. Facebook, Saorsa Scott. Come and find us there. We've got a private group there as well. Instagram, which is Saorsa Scott. And then if you want to try and find us all, if you can't write these down or anything, go to lazylinks.co.uk/Saorsa. That's like Linktree, but better. We don't, and at Lazy Links, they don't steal your data. Okay? And if you need to get in touch with us, it's info@saorsascott.com. And then we also, up here is our website, okay, saorsascott.com as well, where you'll find everything about Saorsa. And finally, is that working? Here's our Discord. Strictly by invitation by myself, so if you want to come and join us, let me go and have a look at your social media to make sure that you are a person of integrity that is pro-indie, and that you have an actual Discord account as well. You need to have a Discord account. If you don't have a Discord account, you can't get in. Apologies to anybody at all that may have sent something in the past week. I've been rubbish at my admin this week, simply because there's been a lot going on. But if you do want to come and join us, send me an email to info@saorsascott.com. Put a couple of your links for your socials in there. Make sure that you do put in your Discord handle so I can send you a friend's request, and once you've accepted the friend's request and replied, I will send you an invitation to our Discord server, where we kind of hang out like rebels in the French Revolution and talk garbage every single night. That's what we're like. A little rebel cell. Okay, gonna go. Let me just quickly say goodbye to everybody. Thank you, everybody in TikTok land. Oh no, TikTok land's over here. Everybody in TikTok. There's Liv. Hi Liv, how are you? Hope you're okay. And who else is still there? Lisa's still there, Saorsa's still there, Peace is still there, Geordie, Indie Dave. Hi Dave, how are you? And Cal Jane. Brilliant. Listen, thank you in TikTok land, and across in YouTube land. Oh, there's Dave just coming as well. Hi Dave, how are you? Lewis, thank you. Woofpet, and John and Henry, and I saw there was plenty of other people. Robert as well. Listen, if I'm rubbish at trying to get the names in, there's Mad Monk, Mr. E, Stephen, everybody across, apart from that damned Doberman company. Wow, did he really say that he was a fascist? Did he really say that? Because I saw that. He needed to go. And there's Eddie Wolfie and Woofpet I saw as well. Right, listen, Hashberry, thank you for your advice as well. And Neil Cannon, Martin Taylor, everybody that I've not mentioned, apologies. There's been quite a lot. And hold on, River Glen just joined across in TikTok land. We're just about to finish, brother. but you're welcome to come and say hi in the Discord. Okay, I'm going to play you out with one of our older Saorsa songs, and I'll see you in Discord, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Take care.
The thing, the banner is clear. The future that's ours, but it's fractured with fear. Petty games and pride, tearing apart the dream of a nation, the hope in our hearts. Get over yourselves, you're dragging us down. Squalling like children while the world spins around. The light of our freedom is fading away. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. Teams and tribes, it's a desperate show. The fire's still burning, but it flickers too slow. While Westminster grins, holding the chains. We bicker and barter, and nothing remains. Get over yourselves, you're dragging us down. Squalling like children while the world spins around. The light of our freedom is fading away. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. The cause is too great, the time's slipping fast. We're stuck in the present, but the future's our past. If we don't unite, this chance will be gone. A fractured movement can never be strong. Get over yourselves, you're dragging us down. Squalling like children while the world spins around. The light of our freedom is fading away. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. Years from now, when the dust has all cleared and independence finally appears, you'll look back in shame at the time that we lost. The price of your pride wasn't worth the cost. Get over yourselves, it's time to unite. The dream's within reach if we stand up and fight. Get over yourselves, no more delay. Together we rise or together we stay. Get over yourselves, get over yourselves. You're dragging us down. Squalling like children while the world spins around. The light of our freedom is fading away. Get over yourselves, stop standing in the way. Get